Hey guys, Axel here. Welcome back. Today's a very exciting day because I will be reviewing probably the best FiiO IEM I've ever tried to date. It's going to be the FiiO FA19. Now, the FA19 is a 10 Knowles balanced armature driver IEM, and it has a tuning switch, and I have to say, it kind of caught me off guard. And it really impressed me. So first I will tell you what comes in the box. First of all, you get this plastic case that includes 12 pairs of ear tips, including 2 pairs of foam and 2 biflanges as well. Most of them, the others, are silicone, and they kind of like emphasize balanced tuning, biflange, memory, bass, vocal, and so on. It's the same one, I think, or similar to the one that came with the FH19. The case is a very premium FiiO case. Actually, it looks very nice. I'm not sure if this is leather or no, but it's a very premium feeling case. And you kind of get this magnetic clasp, which then you open, and what a surprise. More ear tips again. Wow. So you get here 3 pairs of HS18 ear tips, and you get here 3 pairs of spin fits, and you get this magnetic clasp as well, and you get an MMCX assist tool. There is a brush here that will be important for the tuning nozzle. I will mention a tuning switch, which I will mention in a second. And there are 2 detachable terminations for the modular cable, 3.5 and 4.4. The cable itself is a modular cable. It is a pure silver cable, they say. And yeah, it kind of doesn't tangle that much. You can see it untangles itself very easily. It's slightly thick. It's on the average side for me personally. I like this thickness. And terminations, it's a modular cable, so it has 3.5 and 4.4 terminations. Let's look at the earpieces themselves, which, as you can see here, they're 3D printed, but they are a chunky boy. They kind of like have like a semi-translucent type of coating here, and there are 2 vents, by the way. The MMCX connection is kind of deep fitted like that, and it's a very sturdy. And in terms of the nozzle, it's a very small nozzle. It measures 5.9 millimeters. Most people will have no issues with it. For my ears, it fits comfortably, and I had no issues with it. I wore it for hours and I never felt anything. Now let's look at this tuning switch. It's a very small switch, you can see here. The thing is, it's not exactly finger friendly, so I couldn't turn it on and off with my fingers, but what I do is you get this brush, and it has a metal end on the other end of it, and this metal end is usually used to remove earwax from nozzles and ear tips. What you need to do is just put it right here and give it a nice tug. It's a very small push, and there you go. The sound signature of the FA19, I would describe it as a bit warm neutral with a bass boost, and the tuning, depending on the switch, could be considered a monitor-like, just with a bit more extension in the bass. It has a very strong bass response, and with the switch on, what happens is that the bass becomes a bit more pronounced. It adds a bit warmth to the sound, so the sound signature leans on the warmer side with the switch on, with a stronger bass boost. With the switch off, the bass is less but still strong enough to give you an accurate bass or even boosted bass representation, but you kind of feel it becomes more neutral. It becomes more monitor-like, and the vocals and the treble kind of pop out more, and you get even more air and extension. That way it sounds way more airy. This is the first time in my life where I get a switch where I felt I really enjoyed the tuning with the switch on and off, and I kept alternating between them because I enjoyed the bass boost with the switch on, yet with the switch off I kind of enjoyed how the vocals and the treble popped out more, and I started to listen to more details that were very enjoyable to me. All right, let's talk about the bass. Now, even with the bass switch off, the FA19 packs a lot of bass. Now, I'm not a bass head, but I appreciate a good quality bass response, and the FA19 delivers on that aspect. It just gives me what I consider just a slight boost. It's slightly above neutral, but you have to understand, although it kind of looks strong in the graph, this is like a balanced armature type of bass. Although it is vented, I feel sometimes with BA drivers you kind of need more of a bass boost to start to appreciate the performance, because the bass of the FA19 is very fast. It's kind of snappy, it has a quick decay, and in terms of quality, it's very clean, it's very detailed, it's very textured. You get a lot of texture, a lot of detail. And actually, I was listening to a lot of bass-heavy tracks, for example, like Bad Guy by Billie Eilish, Marshmello, and Dead Mouse tracks. And I have to tell you, the bass actually kind of rumbles. Not kind of rumble, it rumbles a lot. It rumbles a lot on bass-heavy tracks, which is surprising. That doesn't make the bass overwhelming in any way. There's a good and clear separation between the bass, mids, and treble. Let's talk about the mid-range. There's a good separation, as I said, and I like how the mid-range is tuned on the FA19. It's very natural, very separated, very forward, and with excellent vocal clarity. A lot of separation even between the vocals and the instruments. The note weight I would describe as just right. It's just a proper note weight. It's not too thick, it's not too warm, it's not too thin. It's just the proper natural amount, which gives it a more natural type of timbre, makes a lot of the instruments sound right, correct. You know, cellos have their thickness, deep male vocals have the thickness to their note weight, to their sound. It has a lot of added depth. Kick drums have their impact from the bass. Like, everything just sounds correct. And the female vocals sound extended, they sound airy, you know, they sound lively, very detailed, very extended and separated. And of course we get here like a moderate amount of pinna gain, so no shoutiness whatsoever. Again, I rate this very high in my book. In terms of the treble, it is the definition of an airy, shimmery, detailed, sparkly type of treble presentation. Even the transients and the transient attack, it sounds sharp, things sound very incisive, things are defined, like everything has like a definition, notes are very defined with a space around it. Zero sibilance, it doesn't sound harsh, and the FA19 actually kind of excels in giving the sound a sense of spaciousness. Everything sounds airy. It's like the instruments have room to breathe and everything sounds distant. And I'm not joking when I say even the soundstage sounds like it's coming outside of your head. Everything has a sense of space. Even cymbal crashes and hi-hats, they sound they're coming from a certain part of the soundstage with excellent imaging, accuracy is on point, spatial cues and everything. It sounds very, very detailed without any harshness. It's not exactly natural, it's a bit more airy presentation. So it has a lot of shimmer and a lot of sparkle, and it's more airy than usual. Let's talk about the technicalities, because the FA19 is a very detailed and technical IEM. Let's put up the technical scale, and I will put the FA19 after the Elysian Pilgrim, but still it's before the AFUL VX, and it's less detailed than the AFUL Cantor. Yes, the AFUL Cantor is cheaper, but it's more detailed. Detail is not everything, of course. Tonality is equally important, if not more important, but there you go. I will put this before the Cantor and the AFUL VX on the technical scale. Now let's start our comparison segment, and I'll start the comparison with the FH19. Now the FH19 that you see here is kind of less detailed than the FA19. It has a stronger dynamic driver type of bass. While the FH19's bass is very powerful, it's not as textured or as detailed as the FA19's bass. The FA19 is more textured. I would say it's cleaner. There's a bit small amount of bass bleed on the FH19, but I feel the FA19 is a bit more airy in its sound. It's more spacious, more detailed. The vocals are more forward. I felt the female vocals didn't impress me as much on the FH19, but I feel they are super impressive, airy, and extended on the FA19. The second comparison is the AFUL Cantor. I will actually like shock you, like saying that the Cantor is more detailed. Well, yeah, it's $200 cheaper, but it's more detailed, and the bass of the Cantor is kind of like less, but it's more textured as well. Whereas like on the FA19, I felt it rumbles harder and rumbles more easily, and it kind of like fills out the low end more. Now the Cantor has, as I said, more treble extension, kind of female vocals sound better on the Cantor, whereas the FA19, the male and female vocals are kind of balanced, but the FA19's male vocals could sound a bit slightly warmer, slightly thicker. You know, it has like a proper note weight. Whereas on the Cantor, like the vocals kind of sound, the male vocals sounded kind of lean a bit. So if you want more detail, if you want more clarity and separation and more treble focus type of sound signature, but you're okay with the deep fit, better female vocals, I would give you the Cantor. If you wanted something like more balanced with a shallower fit, and you have a tuning switch, and you know, you want more bass and slightly warmer sound overall, I would recommend the FA19. Now, last comparison will be one of my most favorite IEMs in the world, the RSV. I love the RSV so much, and the Studio 4. They're both of them are like one of the best IEMs I've ever heard. Now, the RSV has a bit of a more neutral tonality, but it gives you that classic BA bass. It's not going to give you the type of bass response you're getting for the FA19. So if you like bass, I recommend the FA19, and it isolates better the RSV, and it delivers like a more forward vocals, and it kind of gives you a realistic treble. It's not airy as the FA19. The FA19 has more bass, has more treble, and it sounds more spacious. Overall, it sounds more fun, more lively, more engaging, more detailed. And yeah, like I would say the RSV is the most natural sounding, realistic, better timbre, whereas the FA19 wins in terms of detail, separation, spaciousness, and overall fun and excitement. In the end, like, who do I recommend the FA19 for? I recommend it for people who want a balanced armature bass and they want a strong bass response. They want a lot of detail in their sound. They're okay with a shallow fit. It isolates well. You know, they're okay with the chunkiness of this earpiece. I don't recommend this for bass heads. I don't recommend this for people who are seeking a dynamic driver type of bass. I don't recommend this for people wanting a laid-back sound signature. You know, I don't recommend this for people who want a more Harman type of sound signature. And obviously there will be much, you know, more options that are more value oriented, you know, give you a best bang for the buck. That's it, guys. So wrapping it up, let's use this and give it our star ranking system. Let me first start by the FH19, because I didn't rank that using our star system. I would give the FH19 a 4. I think it's a great IM, but it kind of like doesn't give me the performance I expect from the female vocals, where as on the FA19, I kind of give it a 4.5 stars. Considering its price and sound quality, it's impressive, it has a good accessories package, and other than missing some of the dynamic driver quality, there's literally nothing I can say about it that I didn't like. If you get a chance, I recommend you try it, give it a listen, get some recommendation from me, a thumbs up. This is the best FiiO IM I've ever tried. And with that said, this concludes our review. Feel free to write down any questions you have. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment. And until then, I'll catch you in the next one.